Coverage units don't just protect the field position battle, they shape it. Every yard they stop the returner from gaining shifts the momentum in their team's favor, and the difference between stopping a returner at the 15-yard line versus letting them slip through to the 40 can make or break the defensive effort that follows. This week in the CFL, we saw some of the best coverage units step up to make big-time plays for their teams. In fact, Week 18 gave us the lowest number of return yards allowed across the entire 2024 season, with coverage units allowing an average of just 12.9 combined yards per kick and punt return, which is down from the season average of 16.1. So let's break down some of the best performances game by game and look at the key plays that really stood out. First up, Winnipeg versus Hamilton, where both teams' coverage units had impressive outings, keeping two shifty returners in check. Early in the game, Hamilton kicker Mark Leggio kicks off, and the ball is fielded by Lucky Whitehead around his own 14-yard line. The player I want you to focus on is right here, Carthel Flowers Lloyd around the 40. He's coming in hot, but he slams on the brakes to avoid his blocker and forces Lucky Whitehead out of bounds after just a 19-yard gain. On the other side, Winnipeg punter Jamison Sheahan sends a booming 50-yard punt, and Lawrence Woods fields it at his own 35. For a split second, it looks like Woods might have had a lane to his right, but his blockers miss it, and Winnipeg's coverage unit swarms in, and Woods is brought down after just a 4-yard return. Later on, Sergio Castillo kicks off for Winnipeg, and Woods fields it at the Hamilton 17-yard line. Again, it looks like Woods might have a lane, this time towards the sideline, and you can see that the Hamilton blocking unit has sort of sealed off the edge. This should be an easy return for a big gain, but instead, the Blue Bombers coverage unit crashes down at the bottom of your screen, in between two of his blockers, and Woods is forced to cut inside where Tanner Codwallader and the rest of the coverage unit are waiting for him to bring him down at the 36-yard line. Finally, Hamilton's Nick Constantinou launches a massive 65-yard punt, forcing Whitehead to backpedal to his own 22-yard line. The Bombers' returner is trapped as Hamilton's gunner at the top of your screen does a great job at forcing him to cut inside. He dives forward, picking up 16 yards, but Hamilton nets 49 yards on this punt thanks to the great coverage downfield. Now onto the BC Lions versus Calgary Stampeders, where the BC coverage team put on a clinic, holding Calgary returners to an average of just 3.5 yards per return. They didn't just bottle up returners, they smothered them. In the first quarter, BC punter Stefan Flintoff sends a 43-yard punt towards Calgary returner Cam Eccles, who catches it at his own 7-yard line. Before he could even think about finding a lane, BC's coverage unit was already there, diving at his feet, and although they missed initially, the Lions wouldn't let up, quickly rallying and bringing Eccles down after just 4 yards. On this kickoff, Flintoff sends the ball deep, and Calgary returner Tyson Middlemost fields it at the 13-yard line. He starts heading up the sideline, but BC's Adrian Green ends up shaking off his blocker and makes a huge tackle, limiting the return to 22 yards and ensuring that Calgary starts inside their own 35-yard line. One of my favorite tackles of the week came on a 51-yard Flintoff punt where Bentley Sanders fielded it at his own 30-yard line. Sanders has some space, but BC gunner Stanley Berryhill managed to slip past his blocker and just makes an incredible open field tackle after a 3-yard return. If Berryhill misses that tackle, Sanders easily could have taken it past the 45. Lastly, we've got Saskatchewan versus Edmonton, where both teams' coverage units made key stops. Early in the game, Saskatchewan's Adam Korsak punted a 56-yarder to Edmonton's Devodrick Bynum, who fields it at his own 6-yard line. One of his main blockers, Luchez Purifoy, misses a free rushing member of the Saskatchewan coverage unit, Adam O'Clair, who makes a great tackle and limits the returner to a gain of 11 yards. Edmonton's punter Jake Julian booms a 58-yarder to Mario Alford, who fields it at his own 12-yard line. Alford weaves through some traffic, but Edmonton's Atavamaga Clements sheds his blocker and makes a diving tackle at the last minute, limiting Alford to an 18-yard return. If he doesn't make that tackle, Alford could have easily pushed that to 30 yards. Later, Julian punts again, this time 62 yards, and Alford fields it at his own 11-yard line. 3 Edmonton coverage guys immediately close in on him, but he manages to break contain and starts sprinting laterally across the field to get to the sideline when Edmonton coverage member Dakota Prukup comes in like a frickin' missile and forces him to jump, slowing him down enough for Josh Haggerty to finish the play. Alford only gets 12 yards, and Edmonton nets an insane 50 yards on the punt thanks to their coverage unit. On this final play that I'm going to show you, Jake Julian sends another 58-yard punt down to Mario Alford, who fields it at his own 23-yard line. He manages to juke a couple of would-be tacklers, but Edmonton's coverage unit just keeps coming wave after wave after wave until Edmonton coverage member Dakota Prukup forces him out of bounds once again. So there you have it. Coverage units across the CFL showed just how critical they are in shaping the game. Whether it was shutting down returners to maintain field position or coming through with clutch tackles, they were the unsung heroes of Week 18. Which coverage unit stood out most in your opinion? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to subscribe for more special teams content. And if you really want to help the channel grow, the best thing that you can do is drop a comment and watch another one of my videos. It really helps. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.